Hi everyone, this is Kyle with kayDbait. I'm going to be doing a video based off of comments that I've been getting on my YouTube videos by Westin1985. I have done video responses to his questions or inquiries before, and I wanted to do it again based off of a problem I see in his reasoning and his presentation for his information he's trying to give me. I don't understand what he's trying to say because the way he's presenting it is more of an I am right, why don't you just listen to me kind of argument. And that's not a discussion, that's not a debate, that is a listen to me, I am authority kind of argument. And that doesn't work for trying to inform, that is for compliance. That is when you are in a seat of power and you have the ability to control, such as parents. Why do I have to do this? Well, I don't want to explain it, just do it because I know better. But I do not know if he knows better, and I do not trust that he knows better because the way he's presenting it is not in a way that is in accordance with actually knowing. Because if you actually know, you can explain it. It's just parents, generally, you're talking to somebody that doesn't have the mental faculties to understand, the life experiences to understand, or just the attention span. But I will discuss, and he seems to not want to. And somebody deleted almost all of his comments. They're almost all gone. So I was trying to go back and reread his comments to figure out what was going on, but they're all gone. I just have the newest ones he made. And the one that bothered me the most was when I asked him if he read the bill, the Obamacare bill, because for some reason somebody brought up Obamacare, and all the old comments are gone. Here's his comment. Did I read the Obamacare law? No. Did you? ? Would it do any good if I did? It is quite a read? ? If I did read it, would I understand it and how it changes the old healthcare? Most likely not. How many have read it and get what it does? I would say very few, except for those that designed it. Even most professionals don't quite get how things will play out. You can bet that healthcare will cost more, it will be less effective, it will wreck the healthcare system. Now, I had in previous comments, and I remember what I had written in generality, not specifically, but I had commented that you can't just say something without explanation. If what you say is stated as a fact, then you must have some kind of data behind it besides opinion. And to say healthcare is going to go up in cost, that it's not going to be as effective, and that it's going to wreck the entire system, those are three very distinct arguments that people have been making with no information behind why. People have. There are arguments for that, but I have yet to actually talk to somebody who has those arguments. I have seen them. I understand parts of them because of the way that they were explained, but people that are commenting and they're parroting, they're repeating this information without any idea of why. And you can't do that in an intellectual, one-on-one conversation that somebody is honestly trying to understand what you're saying. You can't just say it's because. That only works when you have a seat of authority over the person you're talking to. And even then, it is simply as a energy kind of conservation, is I don't want to spend the time and energy to explain it to you because you're not worth it. So those kinds of arguments don't work. It's going to destroy us all. You have to do this. It's like, but you haven't explained why. You haven't, and I've been trying to get him to explain it, and he has not done it. And I respect Westin. he seems to be a smart person, but his opinions being used as fact, as opposed to, and he is informed in some respects, but not in this regard. He just seems to go off on, where I go off on tangents, he seems to go off on the conspiracy theory kind of tangents. I try to explain, over-explain, and I tend to lose people in my reasoning, which is, I'm not stating it as fact, I'm just stating it as, this is my thought process, and it bothers some people. But his is more of, scare you, say something that seems plausible, scare you, say something that seems plausible, and that bothers me greatly, because it's not a fair tactic in discussion. If I did not read the bill, and I did read a large portion of it, especially in regards to what people have been talking about, the exclusions, what the healthcare bill actually does, the idea that it's a company, it's not a company, all of these things that people are just saying, they're parodying what they heard, not parody, but parroting like a parrot. They're not understanding what they're saying. They believe it's true. They feel it's true, but they don't know. They just think they know. And that's not how an actual discussion goes. And even if I were to present them with more information, they will just dismiss it because they already know what's what. But they don't. Belief is a powerful thing and can be used to make you the most ignorant person ever because you refuse to listen to something that goes against what you believe. And in some ways, you do not believe the truth. There are subjective truths. Chocolate ice cream is delicious. That is, to you, a fact. Other people, not so much. To say, this is bad. Well, what is this? It's something that is in itself subjective. That is, everyone will see it differently. You cannot just say it's good or bad. You can't just say it's going to destroy the world without an argument for that. So, when somebody does that, when somebody tries to say, this is going to destroy us all and has no explanation, and even when asked, I tried to get him to explain, and he went off on something else. And it's not something that is productive anymore. It's taking my focus, and I'm trying to understand, but he's not explaining. And it's gotten to the point where I just want to stop listening to what he's saying because he's spouting conspiracy theory stuff now. And when you start spouting conspiracy theories, people will shut down because it's not based off of, it's possible. It is possible that 9/11 was an inside job. It's possible that what were the other things he brought up? The moon landing was fake. There's these things that are possible, but they're not something you can just say are true. You have to have some kind of argument for them being true, or in this case, falsified. And there are arguments for that, but I have never seen him give it. I have never seen anyone who has these views actually explain in a reasonable way without spouting off more propaganda, fear tactics. It's not that we don't know, it's that the media is covering it up, and that's why we don't know. And that doesn't mean anything. If the media is in on it, then you have to start talking about that. And you don't. You just say, well, it's a big cover-up. Oh, I almost hit the power button on my computer. Okay, I'm getting too animated. You can't just say stuff. You can't just say, well, it's because. Because it's not just because. You have to explain. And Westin, I respect you as a person and as an intellectual mind. But when you get onto these conspiracy theory subjects, you can't lose yourself into your emotions and beliefs without using reason, logic, and actual verifiable facts. Because if you do not do that, if you go off into these theories, that they are valid theories, most of them, but if you just go off of the extremism that they present onto the public, which is fear, anger, feelings of betrayal, these are emotional triggers, not factual information. You cannot terrorize. You cannot manipulate. It's not what you intended to do. I know that as from the other comments you've made, you don't seem like that kind of person. But if you continue to do that, that is what you are doing. If I did not look into my facts and I just blindly believed you, and I said, okay, you're right, that does not mean you made a good argument. It means you made a persuasive argument. And a lot of the most persuasive arguments are misleading, because they manipulate information for the benefit of their argument and not reality. You have to put your beliefs aside when looking up information. It's very difficult. I do not believe you can do this easily, and in this regard related to conspiracy theory, I believe that is your trigger. That is what makes you just believe what you see without checking. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that the things you said are not true. I do not know. But you have to do more than just say it's true, especially when in a discussion. If you're going to be saying it as an opinion, that's fine. That is not the same thing as what we were trying to do. You wanted to change my opinion. You were trying to tell me to do something. And if you do that, you must have facts. If you do not use facts, you are not being fair to the person you're talking to. And sometimes they will listen to you blindly and it will hurt them. Whether you are right or wrong, they will not be informed. And that is the problem with those kinds of arguments. Right or wrong, you must have a reason, a reasonable argument. That is what I wanted to talk about in this video, and that's what I did talk about. And I hope that I have explained myself in a clear and concise manner that you can understand what I'm saying. So I hope to see you again in my comments, and peace.